Hello, everybody. Today I'm at Christa McAuliffe Elementary School in Oceanside, California. And I just thought I'd stop and show you the school because I was in the area and because I want to show you how these schools are designed out in Southern California. They really don't have enclosures for their hallways. The hallways are all open. Back where I was from, Nebraska, if you had a school like this, everybody would freeze to death because there was no enclosures for where the kids walk from class to class. Here they're all open. Everything's open. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So I thought I'd show it to you. But the primary purpose of this video today is to talk about a video I watched. I'm also someone that makes vlogs, but I also watch a lot of vlogs. And some of the vlogs I like to watch are farming vlogs and trucking vlogs. And I watched a vlog the other day, a very interesting vlog. And the channel was How Farms Work. And it's about a farming family in Wisconsin. And the primary person that's doing the vlogging is a young man by the name of Ryan. And very nice person. He's you can tell when he makes his vlogs, he's very sincere, very honest. And he really gives you the inside thing about how farming really works. Talks about the equipment, talks about how all this stuff, really is in reality. And of course I like to watch it, and one of the reasons I like to watch is because I have a farm background. I grew up on a farm in Nebraska. But one particular one video that he did, and it was an interesting video because he said, this is a subject that people don't like to talk about in farming very often. And that subject is they don't like to talk about what farmers make. And he really literally goes into all the input costs of what it takes in order to farm. And he does it in corn and soybeans. And I've never grown soybeans, but I've grown a lot of corn. And his figures are pretty accurate, even from as long back as I was farming. It doesn't seem to ever change. It always seems like you put a lot more into it than you get out of it. And the way his video actually turns out is that he loses money. And it's really funny because I think he loses like 25 cents in his corn crop, like 11, 12 acres. I can't remember what it was. But he actually loses money in this crop, loses money. And of course, he's just talking input costs, fertilizer, seed, and I think a little bit of application and a few other miscellaneous expenses, maybe some crop insurance. But he's not even covering close to what the expenses are to run that farm. I don't think he didn't cover any investment, any interest on loans, or any of that stuff. He didn't even scratch the surface of what it really takes in order to run a farm. And the way farmers generally end up making it, and this is what this video is going to be about, how farmers really make money. Because I thought about his video, and I think all the comments at the end of the video were, well, how do you live? How do you pay for your food and your clothing and your living expenses? And he kind of left it open-ended. And he kind of said, well, we have farm programs, and I had the same numbers last year, and I ended up making it. I did okay. So I'll probably do the same this year, which I thought was really interesting because it's the eternal optimist of the farmer. I'm just going to go one more year, and then next year I'm going to make it. And it becomes generational. You just end up, everybody invests in the fact, well, one more next year is going to be a better year. And occasionally you do have a pretty good year. But what costs? You get 1 year older, your equipment gets 1 year older, everything gets 1 year older to get that better year that may never come. Or if it does come, you're just trying to recover from all the bad years. Pretty good view out here too. So let me tell you how farmers really make money. This is how farming really makes money. The way farmers really make money is, generally speaking, they're never going to make money on operation. It's a commodity. Commodities, generally, there's so much competition or so much pressure around the world, you're never going to make money growing a commodity. The way you're going to make your money is on your offsets. So what farmers do is their input costs are so great, but it's hard to separate actually living expenses from expenses running the operation. So there's a lot of deductions that are taken in farming that a lot of companies or a lot of business ordinarily wouldn't take, simply because it is a kind of a way of living. For instance, if you fill your gas tank up with fuel, obviously the fuel going in the tank goes into your pickup. You're going to drive your pickup around for personal use as well as farming use, so it's all pretty much deductible. And from what I remember, which is a long time ago, they weren't really strict on deductions. So your deductions usually help you out. So if you're in business for yourself, you can make deductions that normal businesses don't make. So you make money that way. You make money on your tax, the way you're being taxed, by not paying taxes 100% on the money that you're bringing in, because you're getting a lot of offset with deductions. The second way you make money, and probably the only way you'll ever make money in farming, is if you can make a capital investment in some sort of property. If you could buy a piece of property and that hedge yourself against inflation on that property and hold on to it for a number of years, the property appreciation generally will make it so you have a little bit of money if you ever decide to sell, but then you got to recover the capital gains, which offsets that. But a lot of these farms are appreciating enough in value that if a person buys the farm and holds on to it long enough and is able to make the payments, the appreciation of the land generally will give you some sort of a return, way more than you're ever going to make operating. You're just not going to make any money operating. You're going to break even at the best. In the worst, you're going to lose everything, and that happens all the time in farming. But I'm going to post his video below. Before you watch this video, you should watch that video, because he really does throw it out there and show you exactly what farming's like, and exactly how farmers, what they have to deal with every year. Literally, I mean, he's going to put a whole summer in, expose himself to the loss of everything, especially if he gets a really bad storm. And he's literally coming out to lose money. I mean, he's going to be losing money. In both crops, he showed he was losing money. And to keep on operating in that kind of environment is crazy. I mean, what else can you say? It's just crazy. It's a way of life. It's the way people, live from generation to generation. And they just, until they have something happen where they just, they can't make it one year, or the banks decide not to go with them, they're just living on hope the next year is going to be better. And even if it does get better, then you're recovering all the bad years that you had where you didn't make any money. So anyway, I thought that was an interesting video. I want to point that out because farming does affect a lot of people. And it is a very important industry, and it's a shame that it's gotten to the point where a farmer can't even come out, even on, on a normal year. The other thing he touched base on is the crop programs. And those change from year to year. You don't know that whatever politician gets in, how those are going to affect your farming. The other thing about those programs is then people become more focused on programs than actually farming. And I remember that too, where people would structure their operations around getting, the program money or the crop program money, as opposed to, to normal rotations or planting the crops that they want to plant. They'll plant, the crops that what works out best to get the payments from the government. They used to have set-aside land, where you literally set some land aside, and then you wouldn't raise anything on it, and then you would get paid for that, kind of like trying to keep it out of production to raise the price. I don't think they do that anymore. That's been quite a while ago. But maybe they do. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've been involved. But and then that was always a bad deal, because then the next year, the land would just really be not being used, so it wouldn't get watered, or it wouldn't, in our area we had to irrigate. I think in his area they don't. But the weeds would grow, the ground would get hard because of all the no moisture, weeds growing, and the next year when you came back to farm, the land was not in that good a shape. So the programs really didn't facilitate good farming practices. But people did that because they wanted to get as much money as they could out of the program, because that's the only way they could get ahead or make any money. So anyway, I hope this stimulates some thought. It should. I know there's a lot of people farm, and a lot of people, their livelihood is involved in it. And when you see a video like that, it's pretty worrisome about how the future of farming is going to go in this country. But anyway, I appreciate you watching, and like I say, watch his video. I'll put the link below, How Farms Work. I think he's given everybody the straight story about, what a farm's really like. And I find his channel really entertaining, and I enjoy it. So thanks a lot. Appreciate you watching.